People get so pressed when I say that men who had absent fathers and were raised by single mothers is a yellow flag.
Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Before we get into the rest of the video, I just want to say that we straight people really think that the world revolves around us as straight people, that we are the only people that can genuinely guide a child or raise a child. I feel like we do not consider that there are other people outside of us, you know. Having a single parent, whether it's a mother or a father, does not necessarily, or both parents who are of different genders, does not necessarily mean that you would have the best guidance ever. Like you would become the top tier person and your life is sort of perfection. It does not mean that, because even I was raised by both parents, a mother and a father. That does not mean that people with single parents, whether they are a mother, like I was saying before, or father, are a yellow flag. The same way we can say that two same genders can raise a child, and actually that child can become just as functional as I would be raised in the same both parents situation. I hope you get what I'm saying. I'm just saying that there's really no difference with my long sentence. That's how I'm trying to narrow it down, that there's really actually no difference, because I feel like the world, especially straight people, feel like the world rotates around us, and that's not really the case. Okay, so with that said, I'm going to stitch the rest of the videos and you can stitch your own opinion. I'm all for that, because you can stitch your own opinion. So I'll see you in my next video.
People get so pressed when I say that men who had absent fathers and were raised by single mothers is a yellow flag. Yellow flag means that more due diligence is needed, because these men didn't really have father figures to teach them how to be a man. And most of the time they see their moms do everything and be superheroes and be strong, independent women, and thinking that their wives should be like that as well. They don't realize that their moms had to do that because they had to, and that was not their mom's first choice. These men tend to devalue women's work, childcare, labor, pregnancy, because once again their mom did everything by themselves, so why can't these women do it by themselves as well? So these men who had single mothers will make single mothers out of other women. Like I said, it's a yellow flag and just something you need to look out for.
I don't know if anyone's actually pressed by this, but I'll play. We all know that one guy that was raised by two parents in the same household, except his dad spent most of his time living in the man cave and ignoring his family. We all know that kind of dad, the one that would only come out of the basement to get another case of beer from the garage, and if you were lucky he'd come to your semi-final game, but if not, you'd just be looking for him in the crowd. Papa, where are you? Kind of dad who feels like because he works 40-50 hours a week, he does not have to provide emotionally or mentally for his family or be present in anything unless he feels like it. We all know that guy. And if you're fortunate enough to not know that guy, we've had enough conversations on this app to know that division of labor is inequitable in most households. So yeah, a man can be present in body and absent everywhere else. So a very special shout out to the guys who I know who've had wonderful dads but still turned out to be pieces of shit. Like, I don't know how you did it.
Also, a yellow flag is when the parents are still married, but one of the two appears to be the more silent partner in the marriage. I say this because when I began dating my son's father, one of the things that stuck out to him was the fact that he grew up with both of his parents in the home. However, as I began to understand more of the dynamics of that marriage, I realized that the father was in a position where he had no power or control or say-so in the things that went on in his home. And it got to the point where I had reached out to his father for assistance when I was going through domestic violence. And the response his father gave me was, "I understand that this is wrong, but I can't help you." And it just let me know that he had a man in the home, but that man was not able, for whatever reason, to teach him
I'm not disagreeing with anything that creator is saying because she's spot on, but I do want to add a layer of nuance to the conversation that's being had in her comment section. While a man who was raised by a single mother and had an absent father may be a yellow flag, a lot of these men who were raised in two-parent homes are also yellow flags. I'll explain. I have seen way too many unhappily married women and married single mothers on this app to take the approach that just because a man's mother and father lived in the same home, that he got a good example of what a functional, healthy working relationship should look like. Many of these fathers who quote unquote raised these men contributed only financially. They were the type of men who said they wanted big families, but then weaponized incompetence and couldn't be bothered to do things like change diapers, watch the kids while the wife ran errands, or even pick up the kids from school. And those men who say that they want a traditional wife like their mother was are definitely walking yellow flags, because 9 times out of 10, traditional means that she did all of the housework and all of the child rearing, and all he had to do was exist. A two-parent household is simply not enough criteria. What was that household like? If there was toxicity or abuse among his parents, that was what was modeled to him. That is what he normalized. Most men who have bad relationships with their fathers have those bad relationships not because of how the father treated the mother, but because of how the father treated either him or his siblings. Many men who had fathers in the home grew up in environments where they saw their mother doing practically everything, and when they looked at her, they didn't say, "It's not fair that mom has to work so much while dad works 9 to 5 and then does nothing around the house. He should contribute more." They looked at their mother and thought, "Wow, I can't wait till I grow up and get my own wife." You can rationalize with a man who was raised by a single mother that she worked that hard because she was under enormous amounts of pressure of having to unfairly raise children alone. You cannot argue with a man who was raised in a traditional household where the father contributed financially but did nothing else, that this isn't normal, that this isn't what women are meant to do. To have children, to take care of those children, to cook and clean in the home. Because to do so would be to confront the nature of his parents' relationship. And if he has to confront the nature of their relationship, he has to confront his father's character. A lot of men see it as a betrayal to the male figures in their life to think that they might have done anything wrong, even by accident. But please, ladies, be careful out there when you're dating these men and you think because they come from a two-parent household that they're the cream of the crop and that you're going to be happy. If he openly brags about how his mother did everything and she always had a hot dinner and a cold beer ready when his father came home, you've been warned. If he says in casual conversations about how fill in the blank is woman's work, you've been warned. If his parents are the same age but his mother somehow looks 10 or 20 years older than his father, it's because he drained the life out of her. You've been warned. If his father made his mother suffer, he's going to make you suffer too. You've been warned.